Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today, and welcome to the 5th Annual Women's Breakfast. Yes. And of course, if you were here last night, I wished you a happy Women's History Month. But today, I'm going to wish you a happy Zenovia Harris Day, because that is the day that we are here to celebrate today. So I'm going to take what is my rightful place in front of you today. I have heard many times that, you know, Zenovia, you're in front, you're always talking, you're doing the thing. Well, today I'm actually putting myself out there. All the other times I do what is required of me to do. Today I'm doing it because this is my day. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the people who made that possible for me. So last year, on this day last year, my husband and my girlfriend Keela and my friend Deontay, they got with the mayor of the city and said, listen, you have a star. I'm just making this up because I don't know what they said, but you have a star in your city, and Zenovia is doing good work, and they met with her multiple times. She met with my staff, she met with board members, everybody, I guess, in confirmation, right? And so this is how this day was born. So I would like to say, yes, I get to have this glory, but it is because of the work that I'm doing, the people that I support without saying anything, and people are watching. And so I just want to shout out my husband who is here, Archie Ray, and Keila and Deontay for that. But more than that, I want to thank this community, because proclamations only matter if the people behind them are real. So I want to make sure that you see me as a real person. I get a lot of privilege and a lot of opportunities, but I am human, and I am here, and I'm trying, and I'm doing my best for you as a community. When you're not looking, I am fighting for you. I am absolutely fighting for you. And so I just want to make sure that you know that. Yes, I have that proclamation, but the work does not stop here. The work just now is beginning. And so in our 5th year, we gathered like this. We had 5 years of women showing up, 5 years of women building together, and 5 years of momentum. And this is how this year we decided we're going to go ahead and brand this under our chamber for the IWalk Award, for the Impactful Woman of Kent Award, which we've been doing for only 3 years. But the women that we've had the opportunity to recognize have been amazing, and they're doing amazing work in the community. And so this time we're calling it the Era of Her. That calls for women not just to represent, but also move. And I do want to just talk about a few people that made this possible today via our sponsors. So we have Jessica Talton was our 2025 IWalk winner. Jessica Talton with Movement Mortgage. Jessica, raise your hand, please. And her work does not go unnoticed, and I'm talking beyond Kent, I'm talking beyond the chamber. It's not accidental, it is actually strategic, and it is with passion, and it is consistent. And today we'll sit down and have a fireside chat with her. We'll ask her some really good questions and things that you'll be able to walk away with as well. Because I think it's important if we get to know who our leaders are, not just the titles, not just the names, not the accolades, but who is that person and why are they doing that? So thank you so much for being a sponsor, and congratulations for being our 2025 IWalk winner. Next we have Rowena Docanes. Rowena, where are you? Raise your hand. BECU. Thank you. Rowena not only represents BECU to the best of their light. Rowena is a community builder. She is everywhere. If I'm at the Filipino Community Center, she's there. If I'm at the June 10th event, she's there. All of the chamber events, Rotary, everything, Rowena is there, and that shows in how she shows up for us in community. So to you, Rowena, and also BECU, thank you so much for your corporate sponsorship as well. Our media partners are South King Media. So South King Media and I Love Kent back here covering 7 stations, 7 cities actually. And everything is being filmed live. Are we live or this is recorded? Wonderful. I'm going to look so good next week when he puts this together. So it is being recorded, and you can find it on the YouTube channel. Hello. You can find it on the YouTube channel for I Love Kent and also the Kent Chamber of Commerce. And then last but not least, the man who has me looking good all the time, and that is Andrew Crane with Crane Photography. Yes, we did a mini headshot photo shoot, thank you, on Valentine's Day. Was it Valentine's? Day before Valentine's Day. And I'm just now seeing the pictures come out of the women, and they are absolutely, absolutely amazing. So if you need a headshot, which we'll be raffling off one later, if you need a headshot, this is the man to go to, okay? Andrew Crane. Thank you, Andrew. I'm going to start today with a story. And this, what I'll be talking about today is really rooted in her moves, her momentum, which is our theme today. And so when I applied for the CEO position here at the Kent Chamber of Commerce, I remember when I called, I was late. And I'm not talking about I was late and the job posting had been open for a little bit. I mean, I was late, not fashionably late. So because I have good telemarketing bones, I called because the posting was no longer up online. And I said, well, let me just call over there and see what they say. And when I called over there, she happened to be the president, I didn't know that at the time, answered the phone and she said, well, you can send it if you want to, but we're already ready to go on to the next round. And so she said, but send it if you want to, just as calm and cool. I was like, okay, right? So I hung up the phone and I sat there, and my mind said, should I still send it? Well, clearly, hello, I sent it. And so I wanted to. And what the words that stuck with me is, if you want to, right? So now the ball is in my court. I get to decide. I get to choose. And so what that really meant and what my brain said to me is that you probably won't be considered. We've already chosen who we want for this position, and it's probably just too late. You waited too long. Your procrastination got you. And so I hung up the phone and I sat there and I had a choice. I had a choice to allow, what she said to affect me. I had a choice to protect my ego, because what if I did it and I didn't get the job? Right? How embarrassing. I've been telling people, I'm going to do it, and then I procrastinated and I waited too long. Or was it rejection? And I'm okay with rejection, but not really. Not really. In front of you all, I'm okay with rejection. Not really. Not at all. So I said, you know what, Zenovia, it's on its way, and I pressed send. Because you know what I did before I called her? I prepared. Resume was ready, letter was ready, everything was good, references were good. I had done my research, and I didn't let the research deter me, because the research said, Zenovia, they don't want you. But again, I just pressed on, and I kept on with the momentum. And it's not because I felt confident, because I was just tired of wondering, is this it for me? Is this all I have to offer? Do I have something else that I can give to someone else? And that wasn't about the job at that time. It was really about momentum. And so here's what I've learned. Momentum does not start when you win. It starts when you move. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. And I think it's easy to clap for that story, but the story only matters if you ask yourself, where have I been hesitating? Where have I been waiting for the green light? Sorry, this is so awkward. Where have I been waiting for the green light? Where have I convinced myself that it's too late? This conference is called Her Moves, Her Momentum, and I love that. I really do. But if we're honest, we spend a lot of time studying her moves, watching her, analyzing her, commenting on her, when we really should be focused on us. But the question is, what are you doing? Where are your moves? Where is your momentum? And momentum, again, is something that we admire, and it's something that we actually generate. It takes a lot of effort to get that momentum going. When you're kicked down, things aren't going the way that you want them to go, it takes a lot of effort for you to get that momentum going. So I would just tell you that you just keep pressing on no matter what and do not stop. That is going to stop your momentum. So I am, for most folks that know me, I am a serial entrepreneur. Everybody know what that means? Okay, serial entrepreneur. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in my fireside chat with Jessica. And people love that title. I love that title. But what they don't see are the ideas that I don't launch. They don't see the emails that are drafted. I literally have 500 drafted emails. Good stuff. Opportunities, waiting. And they're just sitting and drafted. And then they don't see the rooms that I almost didn't walk into. Fearful of who's there. Fearful that I'm gonna look different, talk different, laugh different, be judged. Now I'm not talking about rooms only, and again, let me say this. I can only talk from one vantage point. I am a very strong Black woman, okay? So when I'm speaking from that vantage point, and I speak the truth. So I'm not only talking about being a Black woman walking in spaces where there's only white women or people who don't look like me. I'm scared sometimes to walk in a room when everybody does look like me. Right? So we have to be honest about that. And I just wanted to be ultimately clear about that. I'm not saying I'm scared to walk into any rooms. It's the judgment sometimes that comes from your own people. That gets a little frustrating, right? But I walk in anyway, and y'all just go on and walk in. They'll be all right. And so early in my consulting life, I had an epiphany, right? I have the experience, I have the knowledge, I have the education. I've done all the things. I've checked all the boxes. And I had an opportunity to write for my very first not my very first contract, but at that point, it was the largest contract I would write. It would be $50,000 for some training. I was nervous. I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to ask them for that. And then what I did is I called what I call my personal board of directors. People that I have in my life that I call when I'm getting ready to make a large or big decision. I call my husband because he's going to say, just do it. He don't even want all the information. Archie's going to say, you know what, just do it. You can do that, okay? You need that person. But you also need your friend like, girl, well, did you do your research? Are you sure that's what you really want to do? And then you have your friends, like I have Jennifer Ness. Well, did you pray about that? Right? You have to. That's the first thing. I know that's right. That's coming from the Redeemed Wellness. I know that's right. She said, pray first. Pray first, ask second. But sometimes we confuse invitation with qualification. I was waiting for someone to say it was okay. And that's where I went wrong. Okay? And so I submitted it anyway, and guess what? I didn't get it. But I didn't stop sending them. Now I knew all I had to do is press send, and all they could say is no, and then I could move on. And I got rid of that fear at that moment. And so what was amazing for me, again, is that I moved. I kept my momentum going. I said, well, if I sent it once, I can send it again. Who else have I talked to? What am I going to do next? And I continued to just press on. And so the difference between where you are and where you want to be might not be your talent. It might be your motion. So you got to keep moving. So on the back of your program, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. This is where my facilitation brain comes in. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because I think it's important that, again, we're talking about her moves and her momentum. I want you to dig a little deep about my moves and my momentum, okay? So on the back of your program, there is what looks like a sheet of paper, and it says action plan. And the question that you're going to answer for yourself, you don't have to share this with anybody, but the question you want to ask yourself is, when did I miss an opportunity because of something I did or didn't do? We can't blame it on gatekeeping, although that's real, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about her moves, her momentum. Catch me next month. I'll talk about gatekeeping. So, what did I miss an opportunity because something I did or didn't do? Not because you were overlooked, because you hesitated, you overthought, or you assumed. So I'll give you just a minute to write that down. Okay, so again, you can take this and do that later. But I want to remind you that the moment that you are thinking of is not shame, it's actually your instructions. How can you follow up? It may not be too late, or actually, I don't know why I said it may not. It's not too late for that opportunity. There are plenty of opportunities out there. So I'm going to say this out loud. I haven't even said anything. I kind of played with this conversation a little bit with my husband just to kind of see where he lies, because this is a big decision. So this is new news for you and for everybody. No decision is made. Let me say that before everybody gets excited. So I have been thinking about running for office as an elected official. Put your hand down, Andrea. It's not happening, okay? And I've been wrestling with whether or not to run. And my question to myself is this the right time? Am I ready? And, oh, God forbid, what if I lose? All those posters on the corner, my picture out there, what is it that I'm going to do? Am I going to shrink? Am I going to be able to come back to my community after making a really huge leap and still be able to serve? And those are the questions currently that I'm thinking about. And so then I realized something that was uncomfortable. And what's uncomfortable is nobody's coming to ask me to run. No one is clearing the runway for me. If I step in, it'll be because I stepped in. And that's the realization, and it's freeing. I actually feel better about what I'm going to do. Because if no one is coming, then who am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? And so I would charge you with the same thing. If you're waiting for something, I'm here to tell you that they're not coming. And so if they're not coming, what are you waiting for? Okay. So again, I talked about that personal board of directors, and this is something that I do. It takes 2.5 hours if I'm just putting out there and putting my consulting firm out there. It's 2.5 hours for us to go over with you. What does it look like for you to build your own personal board of directors? And so everything that I do, it really takes a village, right? All of the decisions in the rooms that I'm in, I can't go free willy-nilly making these decisions without having people that I trust, people that have more knowledge than I do, and people who are not afraid to tell me yes, no, or indifferent. And so I've been stripped of my natural village, right? Don't have a mom to call, don't have a dad to call to consult. So you know what I do? I built my own village. And that's what I want you to do. So, and of course, I have siblings. I have a lot of siblings. And one of them is here, my sister Sonia, right there from Sacramento, California. Yes. My sister supports me wholeheartedly. So do my other sisters, but this one shows up, okay? And I appreciate that. And then my cousin Asia Monet, baddest hairstylist in Sacramento. They're coming and they support me. But I need people that are right behind me at all times in my city that I can go to that understand the landscape that I'm in, right? Who am I talking to when it's time to make those final decisions, those career pivots, the emotional weight? So I built this village because you can't just go to the same. I just can't beat my sister down over and over again with my emotions and my decisions. So what you do is you build that village. And so I intentionally created a personal board of directors. I have a financial brain, a strategist, a truth teller, a prayer warrior, a connector, a challenger, a joy bringer, a yes man, and a hater. Okay? Heavy on the hater, because now you know how to move. Now you know how to make decisions. Now you know how to get over. Okay, well, I heard it from you, so I'll be fine when I hear it again. Okay? And so with that board of directors, what happened is I got clarity, I got sharper, and my life just got lighter. So momentum is not a solo act. So what I want you to do is, on the back of that paper, if you had to pick your board of directors today, 10 is my number, right? because you need a lot of people, and sometimes people are unavailable, okay? These are high-achieving people, they're busy people, they don't have all day. So these aren't random names, these are roles. I want you to think about, who is your financial strategist? Who is your career architect? Your truth teller, your encourager, your connector? So I'm gonna challenge you to do 5, but today I need you to do 3, really fast. Who are those 3 people? And not only their name, but what is their title? What is their role on your board? We'll have 60 seconds to do that. I certainly can. So we're talking about your personal board of directors. Everyone needs everybody. You don't write down your hater, because I would hate for this to get lost and everybody knows all your business. So keep that to yourself. Tell you and God. But who is your financial strategist? Who is your career architect? Who is your truth? And he does. Who is your truth teller, your encourager, connector? Who's your peace protector? God. Okay. See, some of us aren't there, right? Everybody's not there. And when you're not there, you build from what you have already. And then you get there. You find you somebody that can help lead you there if that is where you want to go. And again, the goal is going to be that you have 10 people that are in your life for a purpose. And I don't want you to feel guilty about that. I spent a lot of time having friends for the sake of having friends because it looked good. And I need somebody to go with me. But see, now it's like, oh, I'm protecting my energy, I'm protecting my peace. I don't know who you talk to at night. I don't really want to be with you, right? And there's a lot of people, I'll tell you now, there's a lot of people, I just want to take a picture with you, okay? And the reason for that, though, is because, again, we live in a society where pictures are very important. Watch the news. Decisions are made because of you being in a picture or out of a picture, okay? So I'm real selective on the pictures I take. So if I'm dodging you, check your social media. I don't want to be involved in that. I won't dodge anybody. I don't think there's anybody in here I would dodge, but maybe. And so when you leave here today, what I want you to do when you have your list, I want you to call those folks, heavy on the call, not email, call those people and let them know you have now been elected to my personal board of directors, and I value you because, and whatever that role is. And I guarantee you, you will begin to see your entire decision quality shift in a very positive way. So you call them and you let them know that you value them. All right, so we all love the phrase. I heard this from Lisa Chin, who was the director when I believe she was at Boys and Girls Club at the time. And she always would say, lift as you climb, right? And I believe in that. But hear me when I tell you, you cannot lift someone who is not climbing. Okay? And if you're climbing and lifting, and are they just hanging? That's really not a partnership. You're looking for an actual partner. That's weight that you don't want to carry. And we are far, far too powerful to be weight. So if your feet are moving and my feet are moving, we rise faster and we rise together. And that's what we need to do as women and as supporters of women. So the final question on the back of your paper would be, what would you be on someone else's list? If someone made their board, what role would you play? Dependable, strategic, grounded, courageous? What is that role for you? All right. So again, these are things that you can look at later, and I suggest that you do. But if you don't like the answer, or it took you a long time to get to an answer, that's okay, but that's your evolution. That's where you need to go next. How are you showing up in community? Are you consistent in who you are when you show up? And so I'm going to end here. I'm watching Madoka's got the time. I'm going to end here, and I'll end where I started. No one is coming for you, and that is not a threat. That is freedom. You do not need permission. You do not need perfect timing. You do not need universal validation. You, my sister, need movement. And, and I want you to do something for me. I want you to send the email, submit the application, launch the idea, run the office, run for office, build the thing, lift as you climb, but climb, move, because momentum doesn't belong to the loudest woman in the room, it belongs to the one who moves the room. Thank you for being here today.